A couple of days before Christmas, I completed the LEGO Tranquil Garden set on 2 live streams. This is a 1,300-piece set with cherry and spruce trees, a tea house with a stone path, a small red bridge crossing a river, and some small decor. It's quite a detailed set, and finishing it took us over 6 hours. You can actually watch the entire live stream if you'd like over on my Long Plays channel, which is linked in the description. When we finished the build, I explained to the community that we would then build the exact same thing in my Minecraft world. I chose the Asian theme set because it would fit in my build district, and today we're going to build the Tranquil Garden set in Minecraft. Also, I'm going to continue building my city, so we'll build 5 sentry towers around the outer edges of the city. As always, all of that starts with material gathering and build prep in my storage room. One thing I miss when I'm not streaming my hardcore worlds is being able to do these kind of necessary bits behind the scenes with all of you. It gives you as a viewer more context in the world. You really start to learn where stuff is and how I get to and from it. That being said, I've already started to bring some live streams of this hardcore world here to YouTube. There's no set schedule for those, so make sure you've turned on notifications if you'd like to catch me live playing in this world. We'd love to have you come in and chat. Oh, and check it out, I finally caught a zombie piglin in my base. The trap works so well that I never actually see them. After I run the smelter for some cracked deep slate, grab some leaves for the cherry trees we'll make later, I needed to run the tree farm for all kinds of wood types. Today I'm after cherry, acacia, which only kind of works in this farm, but it's still better than manual collection, and then birch. I heard someone say recently that birch is the ugliest block in the game, and stripped birch is the best looking. I think that's kind of funny, but it's also very true. Another wood type for this build will be mangrove, and that's painful as I have to manually collect it. Maybe I need a really nice tree farm area soon with a bunch of omega-powered tree farms. That would definitely improve our rates on almost all the farms and the woods we need in the world, so yeah, that's an idea. While creating the banners for the sentry towers we'll build later, I learned something interesting. I rarely use the loom, like almost never have in all of my time playing Minecraft, so I'm very newbie with it, and I needed something called a flower pattern, but I've probably only used one ever. When I looked it up in game, it said I'd need an oxeye daisy. I'm making quite a few banners, so I went to a flower forest and collected as many as I could. Some of you know where this is going now. I did not. After collecting the oxeye daisies, I decided to craft the flower pattern mid-air while flying home. I did realize that if I closed my inventory here, I'd lose all the extra paper I had with me, so I kept the crafting open until I got near my iron farm and I could drop it. I managed not to lose anything and got home with all my patterns and all the extras. And that's when I realized it's not using them up. It's not taking them. It doesn't use a pattern to use a pattern. I only needed one, which I would have had the oxeye daisy in the plains around my base. I could have done all this in about 45 seconds. You really do learn something new all the time. I learned I didn't need any of this. Oh well, that's collection for the LEGO build and the 5 sentry towers done. I love having that finished early in the day. I've had a spot chosen for the LEGO build since before Christmas when we completed the actual IRL project. However, it would look weird just floating on top of the water here where I want it, so I chose to build these 3x3 wooden pillars to hold it up. I understand it's not at all necessary Minecraft-wise, but it made the build feel a bit more realistic and finished to me. There are 6 of these pillars total under the base of the set. So yes, it looks like it's floating, but it's not, and that was the point. As I started to build this base, I realized something was happening. This guy is very unhappy with me. I don't think he liked me building this here. I know there was a little discussion in the comments recently about me using a mob switch at all, but as you can see here, I'm not using it for everything and disabling mobs entirely. Sometimes it's more interesting to have these little interactions with a couple of trident hurling monsters. As soon as I would kill one trident drown, another would spawn. This area is actually a haven for drown, and maybe I should have put a trident farm here instead. But yeah, there are now 2 trying to kill me. That's 3 trident wielders in 60 seconds, and not one dropped trident. Kinda sad. Okay, back to building. The base of this is looking pretty much how I want. The first cherry tree and the spruce are all in place, and the LEGO set has a curved and a tall straight spruce tree. I want both of those in here as well as the 3 short little ones. The stone path and the red bridge are looking good, and the river cuts through the whole set perfectly, exactly as I wanted. I don't see myself ever being a custom tree god, but a year or so ago I lived in a dirt house, so we're actually getting somewhere. With the build near completion, I decided to grab some of the tropical fish that I want in the river. The actual LEGO build has these tiny little koi water blocks, which are a bit of fun, so I wanted to replicate that in my own way. In the end, I collected 8 different varieties of fish, mostly colorful ones, and headed home to drop them in the pond. Out building. I realized after putting a few in that they aren't name tagged and these fish may actually despawn. I'm not sure since they've been in a bucket, but I don't want to lose my fish, so I did go rename them. All the fish are now renamed to their species, so the yellow tang is named yellow tang, the anemone is named anemone, and of course the clownfish is named Nemo. I could drop those in the river now. What I find funny about fish is no matter how you place them, and I try to separate them here, they're always going to group up and go to 1 or 2 blocks. They're going to look good for a little while, but I almost guarantee by the time you're seeing this, and I've filmed episodes 15 and maybe 16, these fish have either disappeared for no reason, or have grouped into 1 block under a bridge or something. I don't know why. I went out of my way to separate them quite far for the build though. Future Rad here. While working on episode 16, I realized they're just running away from me. So eventually they group together as far away from me as they can get. Imagine a stinky fish telling you that you smell bad. With everything done, I want to look at the final project, and this tree was so annoyingly in the way. Large oaks have a way of being super annoying, so I chopped it down. So this was the final LEGO set IRL. Teahouse, stone path, red and wooden bridge, some trees and garden pagodas. Here's the official product picture as well, so you can see what I was trying to do here. When I originally said I was going to do this, I had no idea how I was going to make this come to life. Minecraft can make reproduction of IRL buildings or materials very tricky, but I'm super pleased with how this all turned out. From the stone paths to the trees, up to the tea house, it looks exactly as I imagined it when I said I was going to do the LEGO set. The tea set detail, the shoes by the front door, and the lamps. I added a bench here that isn't in the original, but I thought it fit and I wanted to give it a small touch of my own. From this bench I can see the Buddha and the floating island as well. Onto the Sentry Towers. If we're going to have a valuable city in a world that's out to kill everyone and everything, I think it only makes sense to add in some defenses and protection for our residents. Around the edges of the build zone, I'm going to add 5 Sentry Towers. The other areas will be covered by gated entries later. That's 1 tower done and 4 to go. Before I start those, let me show you around. The door to each tower faces in toward my base. That's the most protected side and where our paths will connect up to them later on. There are bells on nearly all the levels so the guards could sound an alarm, and I left iron bars for safe shooting, and I know you can't shoot through them in Minecraft really, but this isn't also really going to protect my base. We're just playing the game. Shh. Don't tell anyone. Some levels have a trapdoor to allow the guards to stop and shoot out of these stone peek holes, and the watchtower level itself can easily oversee 4 sides of the tower with a protective barrier. The guards can shoot out, but not easily be shot back. This is another well-protected layer with plenty of visibility to everything, and then the top room is our last line of defense for the guards with 1 last bell. And here's the first tower done. It's darker and more serious than my red and white builds or my pink pagoda, and that's intentional. I want this to look like the more militaristic style for our city. The black banners will carry the same pattern as my portal, but in a different color scheme. I guess I should have remembered how the flower charges worked, but I guess I didn't. This first tower keeps watch over the LEGO build, the Buddha statue, and the trading hall. Eventually I'll connect all these to the main city, but for now let's just show that it kind of needs to connect somewhere here. Don't mind me, I'm just admiring my own world. I do this from time to time. I really love how everything in this world is turning out. Well, we have an old saying.
A little is good, more must be better.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Let's build 4 more towers. I built the last 2 towers on a YouTube live stream that's still listed on my channel, so you can watch me build those in their entirety since today is a bit of a shorter episode. But here's my favorite shenanigan from that day. This is something I've wanted to have in this world for ages, and we haven't fixed up since I got the stuff. That goes there. That goes there. That goes there. Let me out. No, don't hit the tree! No! No! Wait, I remember why I didn't do this! I remember why I didn't do this! I remember why I didn't do this! I put Between the new temple, the gate, the stronghold renovation, the LEGO build, and 5 towers, I've done a lot of building lately. So next episode, we're going back to my roots. It's farm week. I'll see you then. Goodbye.